giving up. Boom, ding, ding. Whenever my sunshine turns to rain, whenever my hopes and dreams are aimed in the wrong direction, she's always there, telling me how much she cares. She's always in my hair. She's always in my hair. My hair. I don't know about that vintage Prince. My God. It's your man Rico the opinionist. Just out here enjoying this late night chat. This late night stroll here. It's a nice breeze out here, y'all. My goodness. Just in there chilling. Look, I guess I had got a lot on my mind because it was too hot today to even think. So I decided to come outside there. I know some of y'all will probably hit the sack, but y'all check this out in the morning. Later in the morning. I just wanted to go ahead and get this thought out while it's still fresh on my mind. So, like, share, and subscribe, this video on my YouTube channel, on my Rico the Opinionist Facebook group, Twitter, Instagram, All right, so y'all heard the news. There's been a lot of chatter. Y'all know that governor of Florida, right? That Ron DeSantis. Oh, what a horrible... we can call him racist and all that because you ain't lying. But one thing I like to call him is just childish and petty. That's a childish, petty dude. Petty, just... He don't know who to pander to. He don't know. But he's definitely a petty-ass governor. To add to his little racist attitude and his anti-black attitude. He's fucking disgusting. But, okay, now that I've correctly labeled him, along with many others, he's definitely a shitbag. He is a 6-month-old baby's pamper full of doo-doo. He is trash. And he petty. Did I say that? That man petty and childish as fuck. Just ignorant. However, I'm going to go back, and I mentioned this in the last video. He did something I thought was pretty cool. He's kind of back and forth. And it might have been out of pettiness too. He signed into law that put an end to permanent alimony in the state of Florida. And boys and women in that state are pissed. So much so that a lot of the Republican women switched over to Democrat. They pissed. So that lets you know right there, shit. Women want this to be all about them. And any advantage they see that they can hold on to, they're cool with it. But as soon as that advantage, because of their gender, is taken away from them, they get pissed. And I had to give it to you. DeSantis, you was petty. but that was a good one. And I want to see, hey, Governor DeSantis, I want to see you do something landmark with child support in your state. Either do away with it or make it 50-50. I want to see that. Okay? Yeah. Now that would be actually cool and petty. But I want to see, because you seem to be the one who don't mind touching stuff that other governors are afraid to touch. You messed with alimony. Whew. Now, if you can get that child support, whoo, man. But now let's get to the serious part. Well, to me, it's not even that serious. Y'all saw, let me do this. The state of Texas, where I live, was, for the past few years, they've been off of it for the last 2 or 3 years, but definitely up until the last couple of years, maybe 3 years, the state of Texas was wanting to mess with, the State Department of Education, under the guidance of the current governor, Greg Abbott, under the encouragement of this governor, they've been trying to mess with the school books in this state. But I guess there's a powerful enough entity to tell him to sit his ass down, no pun intended, in his wheelchair and keep hands off the history, American history or Texas history in the books. Because he went there too. He tried to change the Texas history, and they're always messing with slavery. They want to make it indentured servitude. Now, indentured servants, they worked during the day, but they went home with their husbands, wives, and they went home at the end of 12 hours. But slaves were in chains and raped and sodomized and snatched and kidnapped and sold off. And but you know what these Republican governors never mess with? No history of the Holocaust. None. They wouldn't even mess with that. They wouldn't even touch with it, the actual number. Because there's been a lot of questions about the Holocaust. Was it actually 6 million Jews? Hell, in Germany at that time? Did he really do that because he wanted to have a supreme white race? They don't ever touch that. Now, what would it be like? How would the world react if Governor Abbott and Governor DeSantis were to change the history of the Holocaust for Jews? Y'all pay attention to this stuff. And it's always attacking black folks, right? And because I know, and I guess it's probably some Jewish folks on those state education boards that's sitting back, and they know damn well they're not going to let anybody touch their history. But no one ever tries to mess with their version of the Holocaust. And you bring some of these African-centered scholars around, and they'll rip that Holocaust story in half. But Rico, don't say that out loud. So Governor DeSantis he just following, I guess, Greg Abbott's lead, and want to say that let's go. They want to wipe the whole slavery part of history in children's school books. They want to wipe it clean, but they're trying to chip at it by saying shit like slavery was what did he say? It was a benefit to the slaves or the African people, the Americans, these black Americans, could have gave them skills, usable skills, or something like that. Abbott wanted to make it indentured servitude, like they could punch a clock every fucking day. And then this racist cracker in Florida, the other racist cracker in Florida, want to make it like they were on an internship, learning skills that benefit them as slaves, and kidnapped slaves. Lord have mercy. But let me say this though, this is not gonna be a long video because I don't have to go dig deep into racism, white supremacy, because when our scholars were here teaching us, for me, when I learned about them in the 80s, the early 90s, shout out to Dr. John Henry Clark, shout out to brother Neely Fuller, shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson, Dr. Franz Kretz Wilson, Dr. Amos Wilson, Dr. Naeem Akbar, Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, brother Lerone Bennett. Shout out to the scholars that were teaching us about racism, white supremacy. Brother Neely Fuller always said, racism, white supremacy. If you don't know its agenda and its purpose, everything else that you see would only confuse you. And so we're acting so confused when white racist pushes white supremacy, because you become too American and you don't think anything can happen to you. And also, we don't behave like we live under racism. We screaming all day long, but we don't act like it. I've always said on this video, on this channel, on this Facebook page, on this Instagram, on this Twitter, black people, if you truly believe that we live under racism, how come we don't act like it? And I think that little statement goes over a lot of people's heads. When you think that somebody don't like you, how do you act? You try to avoid them, right? You try to protect yourself, right? You try to do stuff that's autonomous or separate from them, right? But we say that we're a racist country, but we just still be in these folks' face all day long. Do I need to give y'all some examples? We try to go to school, we marry them, have children with them, we do all kinds of stuff. But we believe we live around amongst racists. Y'all process that some more. We don't even protect ourselves like we should when we believe that we live around racists in this country, right? We don't even protect ourselves like we do, because everything racist that happens to us modern blacks today, we're actually shocked. When the scholars suffered attacks, being jeered and discriminated against and all of this stuff, so they can do the research and do the readings and do the lectures and write the books so we can learn and go further. But we just like, I don't need to know that I got a white friend. I don't know that I got a white husband. I don't know that I fuck white girls. I mean, whatever it is, something going on. Because we just ignored our scholars. And I got a book list of those of you who want to know what my black book list is. Hey, I'll give you a copy of my book list. Cash at me $5. No, make it $6. So when I push the instant, it'll be like $5 on the head. But yeah, just cash at me. It's on here. Or PayPal me. I'll send you a copy of mine. And also, I'll send you a copy of the Willie Lynch letter. I'll send you a copy of that. Cash at me $6 out and send me an email address with those cash apps. There's also, if you want to get my short story, it's $10. Cash at me for that. So if you cash at me $6, I know you want, and let me know what you want a copy of and send me your email address. I'll send it to you, okay? Because we just act like we stopped reading, I think, in 1995. No, we were doing all right. I think around 2000, black Americans stopped reading the books that our scholars put their blood, sweat, and tears, even their freedom on the line, their economic freedom on the line, so they can teach us. Mr. Farrakhan, 90 years old, y'all still expect him to give lectures. And Dr. Umar, bless his heart, he's still trying to teach. Well, he's still young enough, he can go another 30 years, 40 years. But why you have to go so long to try to teach the masses of black people? So having said that, I read it. I'll put the article in the description box. What DeSantis was talking about. And of course, he denies when people got on his ass. But thing is, I want to talk to black people. Again, we act like, let's act slow. So what if he's trying to erase history out the school books? So what? Who cares? Who cares that he passed a law to try to rewrite slavery? I would think that him doing that would motivate you to do more things to protect yourself and your children. And most importantly, to teach your own damn children. So what if he passed that law? Teach your own kids. I can give you a copy of a book list that you should be giving your kids. You have kids in elementary school and middle school and junior high school. Why don't they have a copy of The Miseducation of the Negro? Start them off with that. How about when they get into like 9th grade, give them a book called The Lies My Teacher Told Me. Lies My Teacher Told Me. And see, when you teach your kids American history and African American history, it doesn't matter what they're teaching in schools, because your kid's going to correct the teachers, and then that's what's going to bring it to a head when they get thousands of black kids and other kids who learn the true history in their face every day. And then you as a parent say, no, this is not true. And you email them and to walk up there and say, no, that's not true. This is what happened in slavery. You teach your kids. That's why we should have our own damn schools. What is it about do for self, teach your own, that offends so many black people? I don't understand it. Other people are doing it already. Jews been doing it since the beginning. You can't get in a Jewish kid's face until he reaches high school. From kindergarten up through middle school, nobody's in a Jewish kid's face that's not Jewish. And they teaching the same thing, the Holocaust. They're victims. Go out and make your money and all of this. But as soon as we say, maybe, because I know y'all don't like what I'm saying, because I'm not rich. I'm not famous. I'm not on a famous TV show. I'm not a famous athlete. I'm not a famous actor. I'm not a famous singer. I know I'm not a celebrity. I'm not friends with Barack Obama. I'm not a favorite black of yours. So you don't want to hear that truth from me. But hell, I invite you. Get the black person that you like. Get the preacher that you like. Get him to tell the truth. But you don't want him to tell the truth because you want to be entertained by that Negro preacher. You want the basketball players to shut up and dribble unless the Democratic Party gives him a script. So, okay, all right, I'm going to stop telling y'all this because I know I'm not famous enough. But I'm going to win that lottery on y'all ass, or I'm going to come up with something. Then all of a sudden you're going to be listening to me. You don't care what I say then. I know how it works. This is my fault I haven't gotten famous or rich yet. I know it. I'm working on it. I swear, I'm still young enough at 54 to make it happen. Y'all going to see me on TV. Not for nothing infamous, but something cool. I know it's gonna happen. So, because we don't listen to each other unless you think they got money or they're famous or I'm cool with somebody famous. That's how it is in the black community. We're like kids. We don't hear information based on your economic and your social status. And that's unfortunate because we do miss out on a lot. It's interesting that y'all talk about how Jesus spread the word, but Jesus was a pauper, wasn't he? He was poor. But y'all just hang on every word. They said, we know Jesus, and he went around the people. Jesus was with the gamblers and the prostitutes. But he wore cheap-ass sandals and little cheap-ass garments. So, but that's after the fact, because when he was walking around poor and all of that, but nobody paying attention to him. Just a few people, them little sellout-ass disciples. So we're going to have to change our mind. Now, everybody that shows up on a hit TV show or a hit movie, those people are there to entertain you. We're going to have to start listening to those of us who are labeled the least of thee. Come on, somebody. But I'll keep using my platform to say it, you know. Who cares what Ron DeSantis is doing as it relates to that law? You should be teaching your own kids any goddamn way. See, the only people who act surprised are unprepared people. We sitting around here like we on a damn beach every day. We're the only ones get shocked by racism. It is amazing. And then we're around here having these debates. Everything ain't about race. Everything ain't always about race. If I hear another Negro with a good job, another Negro, Kenyatta Collins, hey, good morning. Hey, good afternoon, good evening, sweetheart. Mary Max, hey, good. Jamara, honey, what's up? You know, if I hear another Negro with a good job, it ain't all about race. Just because you got a biracial child or you having sex with white women, you got you a white man or a Mexican, get out of here. It doesn't mean because you made that choice personally that your personal choice to be multicultural, multiracial in your bedroom does not end the systematic racism and social, and black folks being viewed as social pariah. So just cut it out. And if I start knocking down a Latina tomorrow, it's gonna put in my head, you know what? Racism is dead. I'm fucking me a chick out of Colombia right now. That's ignorant. So we got to stop this. If we gonna have Wakanda, let's have it. We can't have black unity or temporary or convenient black unity. And we can't continue to dismiss the actual scholars of our race who died poor, who died depressed, who were assassinated, trying to stand up and teach black Americans. Because what Ron DeSantis is doing in Florida, who gives a shit? Because we're supposed to be teaching black kids anyway. We're supposed to have so many black academies for black kids anyway. Who cares? Who cares? I'm not bothered because I have the book. I read excerpts from the book and I listened to his lectures. Brother Neely Fuller. I even had the pleasure of meeting him in person. And I have a picture with him. I met him in 2003 or 4 on the campus of Fisk University in Nashville. Or was it? And I met, for the first time, Dr. Franz Cress Welsing on the campus of Tennessee State. Well, no, it was Fisk as well. It was, I met her. And I also met the brother who wrote for all the people in the conscious community. I met the author of the book, The Medunetta. I listened to his lecture. And you boy, and I got a chance to have a conversation and meet with Dr. Julia Hare. Funny lady, she was like, y'all know in that video when she said the principal's scared of the school board, the teachers are scared of the principals. Then the principal, the school board scared of the superintendent, and the children ain't scared of nobody. They're like, go look up that video from Tavis Smiley's State of the Black Union address and Julia Hare. That was an epic speech she gave about kids and rights being taken away from parents as it relates to punishment and raising our children in education. I got a chance to meet with that lady a couple of times and have a conversation with her. You know, and y'all know if y'all ever heard of the scholar Dr. Naeem Akbar. I had the pleasure of meeting with him, and I got his book, and he autographed it for me. Those folks that I mentioned, I actually have their books and I got pictures with them and autographs. So I've met the scholars. Dr. Ben Yakahanan. Got a chance to be up close to him and hear him. And Brother Ashwa Kwezi. Yeah. So that's why I've listened to there's a brother, he wrote a book called The African Holocaust. His name is Dale Jones. They brought him to Grambling. I got to meet him before he passed away. I got to meet Brother Steve Coakley. He's famous for, it's called Busting Out the Boule, when he talks about the black Greeks and all that. So I had the pleasure of meeting the scholars. I'm not just running my mouth. And I have most of their books. I have not had the pleasure of meeting Dr. Claude Anderson yet. I'm trying to see who else have I met. It'll come to me later. And a brother by the name of Shango Baba Shango, very light-skinned man. I think I had the pleasure of introducing him at a student leadership conference at Rusk College years ago. And of course, I had the pleasure of meeting Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad when he came to Grambling. Shout out to United African American Men and the SGA President Dave. Dave? I'm sorry, David Aubrey, who worked in collaboration, and also the Nation of Islam Student Association at that time. It was in '94 when I had the pleasure of meeting him. We had dinner with him and talked to him not long before he passed away. But have y'all seen Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad's son? Anyway, his name is Farah Gray. A little something. Oh, but anyway. Nah, I can't really say he's his daddy's son. But he looks like him. He's just a paper sack brown. But he looks like his dad. And with Dr. Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad was a very dark-skinned man. No, you want to see him at his best, check him out on some old Phil Donahue shows on YouTube, and Dr. Franz Cress Welsing on the Phil Donahue. Of course, Mr. Farrakhan on Phil Donahue. That white man had all our scholars in there, but we couldn't get none of these Negro talk show hosts to have none of the scholars on there. Isn't that interesting? He didn't give them just one show. Sometimes he did two shows with some of these very scholars that I mentioned. Mr. Farrakhan, Dr. Franz Cress Welsing, Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, audience full of white folks, and he was letting them have it. We need those scholars back. But today, they wouldn't be, at least they were able to draw a huge audience back then in the 70s, 80s, and the 90s. But right now, you try to bring, say, a young Dr. Claude Anderson or Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad in front of these Negroes, these multicultural, sexually fluid weirdo-ass Gen Zs and millennials today. Well, everything got to be about race. We're all one people. It doesn't matter. And racism is because you're paying attention to racism. It's only there because you're pointing it out. These are black kids saying this foolishness. So I don't know. Now maybe I'm out of date, and I need to get my ass on another train, and take it to somewhere else so I can become that famous black dude that y'all listen to, famous on one of these shows. Maybe if y'all saw me on P Valley, oh God, no, I can't get on. I'm sorry, I can't, cause you know how they say you lay down with dogs and get up with fleas. Well, Mary Max said those Negroes, yeah, these so-called scholars. I mean, the hoochie coats and all them fuckers. What's that little light-skinned chick that used to talk loud on CNN all the time? Mary Max, what's her name? The little light-skinned chick who was dating Common, but she can't see her. She looked at as one of the loud mouths. What's her name? Little light-skinned chick. But y'all say she's black. I don't think so. I can't remember her name for nothing, because she ain't worked in a long time. And thank you, Angela Rye. She's another one, just running her mouth. Ain't moved a pebble, not on a goddamn mountain. But they're the ones. I said, well, maybe if I got a job at CNN, maybe that would change it. I don't know. Maybe that would make a difference. So maybe that would be. What's going on out here? But anyway, maybe that would make a difference. You heard none of these folks. When CNN fired everybody, it's always on always just those blacks that work at CNN and MSNBC. I hope y'all don't look at them as like black leaders and black speakers or speakers of black issues, do you? I didn't be talking black stuff on a white fat platform. I know I'm on YouTube. I know that, so you ain't got to say, well, Rico, you don't want to. Well, damn, I get it. But I'm not, they don't pay me anything. I don't pay my bills on them because y'all sure don't hit the cash app like y'all should. See, and it's interesting. I have to get famous in order to get money out of my people. I have to get famous and rich. Then you'll hit your boy with the cash apps. And, I'm not going to stoop to the level of attacking black men to get no money either. She said, Mary Mack said, you should create a pop-up Black History Museum with your pictures and books. I know. It would be cool, huh? I think when I told you I have a plan I would love to open up my institute, Black Male Research Institute. That'll be awesome. And add that to that. That's a good idea because, it's called the M. Rivers Institute for Black Male Research and Education. That will go perfect on there because I know outside of the building, I have a picture of me and this one picture that I have that we went to the Million Man March. That would be the premier picture outside of the building, on the side of the building, because that to me, I love that picture that we took at the Million Man March. But yeah, and so, and people, let me see, the Roland Martins and all those folks are going crazy about what Governor DeSantis is doing. Again, I don't give a shit about all that. I don't care. He can write some more laws that talk about don't share any black history in the school system because we're supposed to be teaching our own. We're supposed to be teaching our own. Hell, just like it with the police stuff. Yeah, they should be penalized for when they shoot unarmed black men and assault black women. But we should be having our own police force in our neighborhoods, policing ourselves. See, America is a place that gives us a lot of room to be us, but we're so we still, the very first book of Carter G. Woodson had the picture of a person, I think is a woman or a man, but he has that huge lock, that chain around the head with the pad on it. That's us. We have master's degrees, doctorate degrees. We have CEO positions. We have supervisor positions. We work all in corporate America. We're all in education, but we still can't seem to think our way to self-determination. We can't seem to do that for some reason. It's amazing to observe how we have all of these trinkets. Again, all kinds of degrees. And I want another one. One day I want to go pursue my doctorate. Just because I guess I want to be called Dr. Rico. Mentally sick, lack of self-worth as a unit. Thank you, Mary Max. And Jamara says, truth. It is. And because those of you who know me from when I was a young man in my 20s and in my 30s, I've run out of ways to call a white man a cracker or a devil. I've run out of ways. And I've done it for decades. It's just like, and let him know who he is. But it's time for us. But I know years ago, I said, you know what? It's like, okay, we already know all of this about that white man. Because the scholars have told us, we see it every day. My thing is, but the mission that I'm on now is turning the mirror in our face. Why do we still act like Why do we still act like people on the bottom? Why do we still do that? Why are our children not performing in the schools? Why don't they know how to read, write, and do math? Why? We know the school system is set up as a prison pipeline. We won't open our own private schools. We won't even help people who do it. We won't even help people who do it. There's a young black man in Albany, Georgia, who had to fight with a majority black school board system in Albany, Georgia, to buy a school that was vacant. to open up the school for those black boys there. And they gave him holy hell. They wouldn't sell him a school. So we got a lot of these Negroes who are under contract under white supremacy to block any progression. We talk about how, man, they ain't gonna let you have none, these white supremacists and this white racism, but it's a lot of Negro double agents. Young black man, barely 22 years old, was able to get donations from all over the place. Yeah, white folks gave him money too. He bought a school because somebody let him know about a church that had a school that was vacant. And they sold it to him, put a down payment, he's buying it. And I'd be damned, a few weeks ago, some people broke in and vandalized the school, snatched sinks out the wall, threw pictures on the ground, busted up pictures, just tore the damn school up. He was in there helping black boys in Albany, the city of Albany, who nobody wanted. After the criminal justice system, who weren't wanted at home, he took him into his home at 19 years old. And he got his own 2 little boys. And he brought in about 8 or 9 in his little 1 or 2 bedroom apartment. And I have yet to see his story on BET, TV One, Bounce, any of the YouTubers, black YouTubers. I have yet. The only time I saw him was black. I saw him on Roland Martin, and Roland Martin tried to talk crazy to him because he wouldn't have a conversation about some goddamn voting rights because he identified the boy as a conservative or Republican. And the boy was like, Kenyatta said in Albany is terrible. Jamara said, busy stabbing each other in the back and playing crabs in the barrel. Still doing it, huh, Jamara? We still behaving like that. But a little small YouTube, Facebook guy, me, I'm the problem. People like me. We're the problems. So, it's unfortunate. But they're not even helping. They're going against that young brother. And luckily, so black people saw him on Fox News being interviewed. And black people are like, well, you be careful because the Republicans, they ain't gonna do a tear on you. Nobody cares. If we were taking care of each other like we supposed to, then, wouldn't be a problem. So it's interesting. The people that are labeled militant and pro-black who are really trying to fight for black folks, it's like our race likes to see them poor and assed out and hope that they get arrested because you're offended by some words, and they're actually doing the work. You won't even donate your money. Nobody's asking you to get on camera. Just Cash App him. It's called the xforboys.org. Cash App the man some money. He's doing the work that we don't want to do. We claim that we're doing them. We got mentoring programs. The fraternities. We got mentoring programs. Yeah, right. This brother actually built a school. He's actually educating. And that's when you know that you're doing a great job, when people try to block progress by helping people. That Malcolm X, that murder Dr. King, man, scared the shit out of us for the last 50 years. Because we like, no, I don't want to do nothing. If it start helping them, these people will come after you. And that's a shame. So that's why I hear people be yelling racism and all that stuff, but you're not doing anything to help yourself, help ourselves as a unit. It's interesting. I'm not going to belabor that. But again, I'm going to close by saying, I'm not just upset. I understand what they're doing because I learned about it in the early 90s, the movement of the white supremacists. The job of the white supremacists is to make sure they maintain their supremacy. And always keep in mind, to all you people that want to yell, brown people, people of color, people of color. They're not fucking with people of color. They're fucking with black people. The ones that started this, that was the beginning of this thing. By way of the slave trade and the Constitution. Y'all stop yelling all this black and brown and people of color. I'm so sick of that. I said, God damn, we do get dumber by the summer. Because those people are striving under every president that we've had. But black people aren't. These groups don't even vote. They don't even pay tax, and they're getting $60 million to get help. So, but anyway, I digress. It's your man Rico, the opinionist. I have another opinion. Stick around. I'll be back in a couple of minutes to talk about another topic here. I hope I haven't left my mind yet. But y'all be cool. We'll talk again in the future. It's your man Rico. Talk to y'all later. Peace.